Hey, what's going on, guys? This is GxrpPerez, and I'm here with Dad. We got some handy dandy. Am I right?
Yeah, we've got some exciting news to share tonight.
Do you wanna just tell them right off just what it is? Like just tell them and forget the video. Just
Sure.
let it all out. Yeah, we're right.
Yeah.
So tell us how you been, brother. How you been since the last video? Cause it was a hit.
It's good, man.
It was a hit.
I like hearing hits. Let's keep making them.
People liked it. People liked it a lot. I mean, we got straight into the business, but it was a lot of information, and it was all packed into what, 1 hour?
Yeah, I think it was a little over an hour.
I mean, we read literally an entire book. It was combined, you know. It was you and me.
Yeah.
So this research that we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly the mastermind over here, but is pretty amazing, and it's been bullish. How have you been taking this whole bull market? I know that you're a little more experienced, but for the new people out there, like, do you have any advice? Or because me personally, I've been getting messages like crazy, like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh god, oh. And then like heads exploding. Oh god.
With the rise or the fall?
With the fall.
With the fall. I think the first thing that comes to mind is in crypto, there's the traditional investor like slogan, I guess you could call it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the 25,000% rise, you have to be able to deal with the 95% fall. That's really it.
So you can buy the dip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, exactly.
If it goes down, I mean, as a contrarian investor, the kind of the mentality for us, that's, I mean, basically
Are we aliens or?
If you're here now today and you're an investor, you're obviously, you know, some of us been around for a few years like us. It was kind of the wild, wild west at the beginning.
I just got into the market. I don't know nothing. Nada. Starting from scratch.
Back from scratch. All right. For the new people, if you go back to, let's see, probably the first time I dabbled was 2012. Had no clue. It was sketchy. You can't talk to anybody. You don't know what you're doing. There's nobody you can refer to. There's not really anyone you can call and have them walk you through it. And if so, then they really don't care about you anyway, because they're still going to get their product out. So either which way, you kind of dabble a little bit. Personally, I didn't, you know, I call it dabbling. I didn't start taking it more serious until about 2015. And then that's where.
So it was a joke at first, and then you took it seriously in 2015.
Sorta, yeah. Because at the beginning, you didn't know, you know, at least here in the U.S., you didn't know there's so much regulations. You hear all this stuff on the news. It's like a novelty. I mean, if you're going back, I remember hearing on the radio, blah, you know,
Bitcoin,
25 cents, there's Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And you hear it and you're thinking, okay, what is Bitcoin? You know, I'm busy working and I don't have time to think about it. Oh, you know, 4 for $1, whatever. I'll buy those things for like a novelty. Thinking it's like a coin. You don't learn till later that it's like a digital.
Did you buy 4 for $1, mister?
Honestly, I didn't get any.
See? And now you're like crypto revolution. Get into the market. I love it.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, I came in, even still, I did come in through Bitcoin, but I, you know, luckily I was there before the bull run and I caught it I sold out at 7,600. So I put every penny. I never pulled, since I've been in this, I've never pulled anything out. I've kept everything 100% in. So all the trades or any profits or whatever, it just went right back in.
So you're a maxi hodler.
I'm a maxi hodler. I literally, to be honest, literally from day one, I've always been here waiting until 2025. That was my mental thing. Like my whole family knows I'm here till 2025.
That's it? And then what happens after that? Where are you going to go?
Then I'm pulling everything out.
We're going to the moon, baby.
We're going to the moon.
No.
I mean, because in the like from the people who are designing all this, they have always stated, for example, when I got into, you know, like Ripple, it was OpenCoin, it was Ripple's. OpenCoin switched to Ripple. The token Ripples went to XRP. And even lately, if you're a new guy, you've been here enough to see XRP change to ODL. You know, they kind of put layers through. So in my opinion,
Code, not layers, code, because
yeah, exactly.
even if you say let's say 1 2 3 ABC, people are gonna be like, oh my god, that sounds insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
well, the only reason I say layers is like you think Shrek, you know,
or
cake,
or cake,
but you kind of or cake, but you have like, when I say layers, I say hidden from the public. That's what I mean by layers. Like when you and I are doing a deep dive, we're digging under those layers. We're going beneath the layer. You know, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, however deep we keep going.
Step by step.
That's a layer.
We want to know the ingredients behind that personal layer. So like if you have like vanilla, and then you have like strawberry like in the center, and then you have like an ice cream cover with like little. That's what it is. And happy birthday, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
It's somebody's birthday today, so happy birthday.
Dig in the cake. Happy birthday.
Digging right into the cake.
But I mean, that's what I think. I think they have what I call layers to hide it from. I mean, think about it. If you're designing this and it's going to take over the financial system, and if the entire public knew about it, everyone's like, are you kidding me? I'm going to sell everything I can to buy in on this because I'm going to be rich in a couple years.
Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question. From it jumping as fast as it has, because you're talking people became millionaires maybe 2-3 years into it. I think the whole, honestly, to have an idea that's going to be so massive, that's going to change the way we do things. I don't think it came from one small company or one Satoshi or one. I think it's way beyond that. I just think it's a fun way of us adopting some sort of, I mean, just like the internet. I mean, they made it fun. They made it fun in the sense that now everybody can get involved, and they have no idea that the same people that are running the show are the ones that pretty much invested their money into this.
Exactly.
To make it flourish, which we've proven that. At least utility coins, mass adoption utility coins, like Ethereum and like XRP and like XLM, which they all come from the same place, and Bitcoin. So you have the one non-utility that started it all, coming from the same creators. Then you have Ethereum, which Ethereum was basically, well, we know who created smart contracts, and we covered it, and all that fun stuff. Whatever. Point is, it's crazy, and now it's gotten even further. And it's proven all of the points that we've been trying to make in prior videos, which is going to be fun. And we're going to dig into it, and we're going to go hard.
Absolutely.
How hard?
Pretty hard.
Like, they need insurance, Allstate, or what?
Maybe.
To be in good hands? No?
Maybe.
Serious like Satellite Radio?
So, but I mean, I think when this video is done, after... You know, if somebody's familiar with you and our channel and how we do a show together, I think by the time they get to the end of this video, they're going to be very excited.
Good.
Because, you know, let's go back to you mentioned something about the new investor. You know, obviously you and I, we love to like joke around and like have fun. Mm-hmm. But then when we get serious, we get real serious.
Too serious.
But I think, you know, with the new guys coming in, they're like, you know, I can see there's some kind of investment opportunity, but what does it do? What does it connect with? But I think after this video, it's going to sink in their mind. Okay, this investment, wow, it's huge. And I think obviously, I mean, if you follow my channel, I mean, like we've gone into it, you know, I didn't want to discuss XLM.
This is a whole other world. This is a whole, like if you ever watch like Little Mermaid, like that.
Yeah, it is a
because nothing compared to your show alone, nothing compared to my show alone.
Yeah.
When we get together, we just blow the world up.
We just dive, man. We just deep dive, and it goes crazy. But my final thing with that is, you know, you know, it was something, and I have to give this little asterisk. XLM, obviously, from the beginning, once I got into Ripple, I understood its whole, I'm not going to go in the history of the two, but either which way,
no.
they're
There's no need
basically
to. We
the
have
same.
videos for that.
Yeah, we have tons of videos for that. They're basically the same. I said, wow, let me just get both. It makes sense. So then after a while, I started realizing there was trouble. I started moving slowly away. And then I realized, I think there's big trouble. So I got everything out of it, dumped it in XRP. And then they burned. It was like, 18 months later, they burned everything. So I'm
We
like,
both
okay,
did the same thing.
thank
We
God,
both jumped into that.
That's all I could think about. Thank goodness we got out of that, because that's their desperate move. That's their last grasp for air. They're dead. They're dead in the water. They're going nowhere. It's over.
Yeah, because
Never thought of it again.
We joked about it prior, but we know so much about XRP that it's like your last resort. You're like, okay, it's the most stable coin that you could possibly have. It's not going nowhere. You're not going to lose your money. So dump it back into XRP. That's how everybody felt about it. People, it's funny. People say, it's not a stable coin. But it's like, it's the stablest coin that I've seen in the market, period.
Yeah.
And
to add to that, I think a lot of people confuse stable coin with, I'm going to call it a fixed coin. You have like the USDC and a USDT. It's fixed, one for one, a dollar for a dollar.
Explain yourself, sir. Explain yourself, please.
So that's what I think. And I have like a definition. In this point, for my people who follow my channel, I separate that as like being a fixed coin, and then you have your stable coin. A lot of people think stable coin and they get confused with that. But the one for one, it's fixed. Call it a stable coin, call it whatever you want. It's stable coin because it's fixed. It's never going to change. But a lot of people don't realize with a stable coin, the price could be $1,000. It could be $10,000. Whatever the price is.
Where the money,
it's stable.
This is the thing. Everybody that was in the market prior, or, like with us, knows that if you're really that scared, you put all your money into a stable coin, right? Because it's stable for a reason.
Yeah.
And all the Tether, people have no idea of the millions and millions of dollars that people have made off Tether. All the exchanges, holy moly, that if you're somebody who wants to get into something, stable coins is the runner, because they give up all the goods. They trust you on 100%. They give it up because they know it's not going to drop. But I think, honestly, of one of the other articles, that's why that article that came out, the richest man in Russia, that he's dropping it, and he's actually pegging it to precious metals, meaning not gold, but cobalt, platinum, and copper. It's interesting. It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
It is different. That's why it caught my eye, but we're not going to get into that. That's just something that caught my eye. That was, it's not pegged to gold, but it's pegged to precious metals, which makes sense regardless because the world needs them.
Yeah, you have to have them. And a lot of those work with computers, wiring, cabling.
I'm not a fan of gold, period. I don't think I've ever owned gold jewelry just because it, I don't know, doesn't catch my attention.
Yeah.
But I want gold.
My final thought with the stablecoin conversation.
Sorry, I got a little off there.
This is my last final thought on that. And then, for example, before it was so easy to do, the exchanges we have today, the new people, they can go to Binance US or they can go to Coinbase. We're not getting paid for them. We're not advertising them. Just as a reference point of being very simple and easy to use for a new investor.
Convenient.
They're very convenient. You might pay a little more on a fee, but the convenience is, for a new guy, it's worth it.
People are more than willing to give a fee.
Absolutely.
The people that are older in it, they see that because they never got charged that many fees. But if you're new, you don't care about that. It's like you don't see it. If you don't know about it, you don't care. Period.
The safety, security, the ease of use. And then to finalize that, when you have to suppose you had, before today, you had to go to Coinbase. It was easy for the US. You buy Ethereum or you buy Bitcoin. Those were really the main two, the choices you had. So then you had to send those to another exchange to get something different than those two.
Yes.
I always chose, if it was an option, Ethereum, because it's more of a stable coin than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so volatile.
It's supposed to be, because it's really the king of the market. So the king is not doing good. The crowd is off with its head.
Absolutely. But it's such a sketchy thing when you're trying. You
When you're
factor
trying
in.
to
Oh,
get in and
here's
not lose your investment.
exactly. Here's the amount I have, and I need to get that many of this. Next coin. What I want to do, this next currency.
I had so much trouble with that. I had so much trouble because I didn't understand exchanges at all. It was on Kraken. Have you been on Kraken? Have you?
You know what? I've had my Kraken account.
It literally
over 2 years, and I've never used
Kraken.
it.
Look, holy moly! It's like I dove into like Chinese letters. Literally, I literally had to change it up, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Ding dong, like trying to read it, like I couldn't."
Yeah.
And then finally, I saw something right here, like on the corner, and it was like a B, and I was like, "What is that?" Oh, I clicked on it, and that's when it showed USD, and I clicked on it, and that's when it converted all to USD. But it was like, "What the hell am I looking at?" Like I was so confused.
Yeah.
And the exchange, I didn't even know how it worked. Like when I jumped into Kraken's like little exchange world, like the trading world, I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" I didn't touch anything. I was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna break!" Like it was a whole different experience, really.
Yeah, the Kraken, I mean, I think I've had it, I don't even know when it started, but I've had it at least 2 years, maybe longer. I get emails literally once or twice a week.
You just ignore them. You ignore them. Sign here, sign this.
I do. I literally delete them. I have never used it. And the reason I felt comfortable is because, obviously it's been a while. I forget the exact connection, but I think the founder, he was a Ripple guy or something. I'm blanking on his name.
I know who you're talking about, but I mean, I can't tell you. I can't.
The long-haired guy. Who founded and owns Kraken.
Well, I mean, it was the actual creators were Asian, weren't they? And then I don't know. I don't know the story behind Kraken. I mean, all I know is that they were my first exchange. But yeah, you're right. They have some sort of correlation.
Yeah. So my apologies if you're from Kraken and you're listening. There was nothing wrong with it. I just
it's just not for me.
I'll have to give it a shot. I'll have to try it, to be fair,
I've tried it again, but it makes it so difficult, man. I mean, maybe it might be the trauma of me trying to do it at first when I first started, that I just look at it and I'm like, oh God, I go into the matrix, like a little wire, just, and I just stay stuck. I don't know how to work it anymore. It's just whatever. They don't make it easy either.
Yeah. I will say though, Coinbase Pro and the original, I love the original Binance.
It wasn't called Coinbase Pro before. They changed the name. I used to use it before, and it was something else.
I'm totally blanking on what it was.
It was like GGW or GGC or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty close to that. DGX or something.
Something like that. I mean, and that was I actually found out about that because of the fee. Somebody was like, "Oh, Coinbase, too many fees. Go to this." And I remember going to the website. Oh wow, like, oh God, no fees, $50 more. I can invest. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was a whole nother world within itself. And then the Robinhood crypto thing. You know Robinhood. Everybody knows Robinhood.
Yeah. Jared Kushner.
Before I keep on rambling, do you have anything else about the stable coins? Because I could keep going.
No, I'm done. That was it. I only wanted to say that back then, you had Ethereum or you had Bitcoin, and I was always nervous with Bitcoin. The few times that you could buy your Bitcoin and transfer it to the
4 hours,
the other exchange, literally within an hour or two, that there was a chance it could go up, but there was a chance it could literally drop a couple $100, and you were very nervous with that. So I chose Ethereum every possible chance I could.
That's what I did too. I picked Ethereum because Ethereum had big stories back then, and I tried with Bitcoin, and I thought I lost my money the first time I put it in because it took so long. Like literally, it took at 4 hours and a half. To be honest, this is why that's why I'm telling you, it drove me insane because I was like, well, where'd my money go? Oh, yeah. What did I do? Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ethereum was much faster.
And then XRP was born.
Yeah.
All right. So based off that, this is gonna make the bullish red, new, down, stressed out investors a little happier, right?
I think so. I mean, one thing that we always say, or you're gonna learn whenever Perez and I are always doing GxrpPerez and I do a video. We're doing it to support the show, like the benefits of having that investment.
Awareness.
Yeah, the partnerships, the connections. I like connections better because a partnership. I mean,
a partnership. Look. The proof is in the partnerships. The partnerships never really show on paper. All right, we're all witnesses of that because you could have 1,000 million partnerships, and the volume. That's how XRP people feel. The ones that don't know, the ones that haven't really done that kind of like dive that we have, because there's no way that you could be involved with all these financial system companies if you didn't have a grasp on it. So
absolutely.
Starting from the beginning. I mean, this idea of just flourished, and I mean, there was so much news even in the beginning. It was like, oh my God, they cut deals, they didn't have this and that and this and that. It's like, okay. But the price never moved and never moved. The $3 thing, I slept on it. Like that.
Yeah.
And then now I'm just back. We're back.
We're back.
You know,
I think, to be honest, I really think in business, it's usually the most simple things that really tie up everything. And I know people who don't do a lot of business and who are new to the space don't really comprehend the regulations. But regulations are very serious. In a financial
sanctions.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. In a financial world, I'll keep it more personal to me. In a financial world or like a medical world, regulations rule. There's end of story. There is nothing having more control over you than regulations.
I just regulated.
So I really think that these regulations, man, I really think once all this, I call it silliness with like the lawsuit, the security lawsuit, and with like the other clarification.
They need some. I feel like they need an excuse to continue like to mellow down the crowd, like.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got like a lawsuit with over $500. Then you got like little things that just are irrelevant. You're a multi-billion-dollar company. You're dealing with like pocket change. Like you can make these things disappear, with the click of a button. But it's actually, remember, Brad Garlinghouse is running the show, and like I told you before, he knows how to run masses. He knows what to do. He knows what to say. Everybody loves him, but it's like we know. Yeah. Remember that? Internet, remember that?
Yeah.
All right.
The dial-up, man.
The dial-up, exactly. You know who invented that, right? Brad Garlinghouse. He did work for them, though. But anyway, regardless of all that, it's been a journey, and now we've gotten to Forbes Blockchain 50. You want to touch base on what we're about to read, or what?
Sure.
Get ready to the market.
Let me think on this one. How do I want to intro on this one?
Hold on, and before we do, do you have anything else to say before we get serious?
I'm trying to think. I don't want to give away on this one, but I think I'm trying to figure out how to do a lead in on this one without
confusing people.
Yeah, I'm
thinking. So I'll help you. Okay, there's a lot of confusion of people thinking, or for whatever reason, that companies are. This is how we got started into researching.
Oh, there you go.
Simplifying.
Good lead in. That's
simplifying the fact that money needs to be pumped into the market. Utility, yes, we're very bullish on utility, but at this point, anything that has to do with crypto is just going to spread awareness. Okay. Besides that, There's a lot of confusion between people saying that XLM is fighting. They're competing. They can't be okay, fine. Okay, we know for a fact, and we've done research and hours and hours and hours of videos, and cool. People still don't believe us and blah, blah, blah. This is about to show pretty much everything that we ever talked about. Now it's on Forbes, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's going to break it down for you company by company, how they're actually directly working with these cryptos. And like, it's crazy how people don't even know this. The company is running its whole platform on that blockchain or on these blockchains, which I'm not going to give it away. We'll kind of go through it as we go, but it simplifies and it lets you untrigger those, oh my God, like, open your mind and just picture it. You know, these are all companies that they want to work together. Mass adoption is not a small thing. And it's never been. I don't know, well, people have this idea. They live in a bubble where like they live with 15 people around it. But if you've ever traveled, I mean, the world is huge.
It is.
You know, you got billions of people. You got billions of locations, different ways of spreading awareness. Everybody can get a piece of the cake. I'm talking about utility. Okay? The other ones, even if they're pump and dumps, you can still benefit from it. You just do your research, you know? When it pumps, you buy, you sell, period. And then it's going to dump, and just know that. But if you don't sell on time, then you lost your money. And that's the way that works. These are different. The ones we're covering. All right? And we're not biased. We don't, oh my God, we love this one more than this one and this one more than this one. All we're doing is giving out information. We're not biased. We have our own investments. That has nothing to do with what we're covering. And we're not maxis to any coin. It's just information, guys. Información, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that cut it?
I think that cut it. And I think the other good thing too is Forbes. I mean, if you've been in the community long enough, you know, it's a little bit more Bitcoin leaning. So when you get through this article, I think to me that gives it another level of excitement. But to add to what you just said, directly from Brad Garlinghouse, he states, you know, about the toxic community and how we need other currencies with a use case and a utility to survive. So we all have to work together.
Correct.
The Interstellar, he was previously the Chain CEO, connected through Stellar and Jed McCaleb, and became the CEO of Interstellar, which is still, you know, an affiliate of Stellar. And he said directly, you know, we're not competition with Ripple. They kind of went in their own lane. Stellar is in a different lane, and we're not in competition with each other. We're both, you know, obviously not partners, but they need each other to work together.
If you, touching on your point, this is what happened to me when I started researching all these coins. I saw that a lot of the utility coins were kind of identical in their use case. Identical. They have their own ecosystems. I'm not going to name which and every because we're not trying to be biased. But if you actually do your research on them, they're all building their own ecosystems. They're all decentralized, and they're all to run a separate part of the world. If you really look into it, you know, where are they the biggest? How can they help this person? How can they connect with this? Simplify it for us. Because just like a Swift, they have to work with a ton of different companies. It's not just Swift. No.
Yeah.
People think that Swift is just a little portion, you know. Yes, they do $1 trillion transactions. Oh, big deal. There's like 1 million other companies that do it too.
Yeah, what was it? 77 trillion last year, I believe, right?
Something like, yeah. They just have they have big numbers. There's a lot of they go through a lot of numbers. Period. But so do other companies that people don't even know about. Look into Southeast Asia companies. Like there's a Swift, and then behind Swift there's a ton of companies that work with them. You know, people have the wrong idea. People have the wrong idea because all that money has to be coming from somewhere, and then it has to process and go out somewhere. You know, these are all transactions.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are, you know, new people or even. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, I think a lot of new people, they don't understand the levels. That's all.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. So.
Well, we'll leave it at that. And then with this article, it's actually going to bring these companies that because if you don't know these companies, then you live in Alaska. Just kidding.
And you still might know them.
Exactly, maybe. But these are major companies that everybody knows. Like, for example, you want to give one? Let's start with one, and you can actually read it. You want to read the article from the beginning?
Sure, let's go right into it. You want to take it or me?
I'll let you do the honors, and then after this paragraph, I'll do the next.
Okay, right into it. The blockchain started as a way to move Bitcoin from point A to point B, but is now being used by a host of big companies to monitor and move any number of assets around the world as easily as sending an email. Our second annual Blockchain 50 represents enterprises embracing the technology underlying cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and using it to speed up business processes, increase transparency, and potentially save billions of dollars. To qualify, Blockchain 50 members must be generating no less than $1 billion in revenue annually or be valued at $1 billion USD or more.
Whoa! Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? All right. So from that, it says the instantaneous settlement of German government bonds to verifying the provinces of diamonds mined in Africa and bringing liquidity to a small supplier of sliding power doors in Zhongshan, China. This year's members have largely moved beyond the theoretical belief of blockchain, but generating very real revenues and cost saving. While many companies on our new list are household names like Vanguard, Square, and Microsoft, a few cryptocurrency natives, startups like Bitfury, have already met our criteria and are on their way to becoming a blue chip of the digital age.
We're going to get right into that, and this is kind of the pattern we're going to do throughout this whole thing. We have Amazon, obviously based in Seattle, Washington, as an extension of Amazon Web Services. The e-commerce behemoth offers blockchain tools for companies that don't want to build their own. In Australia, Nestle used Amazon's blockchain product to help launch a new coffee brand, Chain of Origin, where consumers can look inside the coffee supply chain, and they can scan a QR code to see at which small farm the beans were planted and where they were roasted. Other than Amazon blockchain clients include Sony Music Japan, BMW, Accenture, and South Korean craft brewery Jeonju Beer. All right, here's how we're going to get into this, just so you can follow us if you're new. Really, the point is we're sharing right here the major companies. This gives a little description, whether you know about them or do not. And maybe you know the name, but you're not really sure the intent of the company. What we're going to get into next is their blockchain connection. For example, Amazon, their blockchain connection is the Hyperledger Fabric.
Permissioned blockchain networks that require every peer to execute every transaction, maintain a ledger, and run consensus can't scale very well. And they can't support true private transactions and confidential contracts. So the Hyperledger community designed Fabric V1 to deliver a truly modular, scalable, and secure foundation for industrial blockchain solutions. The most notable change is that peers are now decoupled into two separate runtimes with three distinct roles: endorser, committer, and consenter. Here's how it works. Say you run an organic market in California, and I grow radishes on my farm in Chile. You and I are on a blockchain network that supports transactions between various markets, growers, shippers, banks, and others. Say I agree to sell you my radishes at a special low price, but I need the other markets that buy from me to continue buying at the standard price. They shouldn't be able to execute our confidential agreement and find out the details of our deal. In fact, if they aren't part of the deal, the transaction shouldn't appear on their ledger. Fabric V1 handles all this. My app looks up your identity from a membership service and then sends the transactions only to our peers. Both of our peers will generate a result. In this two-party agreement, the transaction requires both of us to render the same result. But in transactions with more parties, other rules can apply. Then the peers send the validated transaction back to the application, which sends it to a consensus cloud for ordering. And then the ordered transactions are sent back to the peers, and committed to the ledger. But to get my radishes to your market, there are many other parties involved. Some need to know that my radishes have been verified and checked into a shipping container. Others need to handle bills of lading, customs inspections, financing, insurance, but most of these parties don't need to know about our special price. Now think about our transaction running on a network handling all the markets, all the farms, shippers, facilitators, the whole supply chain. This is the same pattern needed by many industries. Anywhere we need to manage confidential obligations to each other without passing everything through a central authority.
And what we'll do here, when you get into the private networks via Hyperledger, Hyperledger Fabric is IBM's private permission DLT solution and is open source underneath Hyperledger Foundation, which is a Linux Foundation DLT extension. The Stellar Development Foundation SDF joined the Hyperledger Foundation as an associate member. So when we come back to this and you hear Hyperledger or Hyperledger Fabric, it connects immediately back to IBM, Linux, and Stellar, which is XLM for the ticker symbol for all of you new people. So what we're going to do is we'll give you the name, the brief description, as if you have no idea what it did, and then their blockchain connection. So you have Amazon. We've just shown you the blockchain connection goes back to the Hyperledger Fabric. I will add an additional just for fun. You have Accenture in here.
Is there anyone who loves a contract? They're cumbersome to change and they're hard to share because contracts are on paper. Every company goes through extensive efforts to draft contracts, which then have to be managed over time. The process involves many people, multiple steps, and countless revisions. Always searching for more innovative solutions, Accenture's internal IT team said, there has to be a better way. The idea was to put paper contracts between Accenture and clients on a blockchain ledger, letting each party securely view, revise, and accept changes. The result would be smarter contracts, definitive digital records, stored electronically in one location, accessible only by parties with access, and with clearly recorded versions and activity. Led by Accenture's internal IT organization, a cross-functional task force with expertise worked to establish proof of existence, which exists when two parties have access to the same contract, in the same location, with trust and security measures in place, guaranteeing both parties access to the final and accurate version. A dedicated project team developed a platform to build out the solution, onboard paper contracts, and industrialize the process. The new platform, Blockchain for Contracts, now provides a high level of security through encryption and restricted data sharing, while allowing for complete transparency. Each party can manage a contract on the front end, because blockchain technology is supporting the platform's back end, which acts as a single source of truth. Both parties always have access to a live contract, and every revision of the contract is recorded, creating a tamper-evident audit trail. Accenture's Blockchain for Contracts platform is the next generation of contract management technology, revolutionizing the way contracts are prepared, changed, and stored.
And as you know, Accenture also connects back to Ripple. As you hear GxrpPerez and I have discussed many times, it's really hard to find anything in the financial realm where if you find Ripple, you can't find Stellar or vice versa.
Correct.
So there we have that connecting back, even though you have Amazon based on Stellar XLM, you still found a connection in there that goes directly back to Ripple and XRP, showing again that they're not competition, that they're always going to be working together.
Or side by side, or if people want to hear it, side by side.
There you go, side by side, so they don't, they can comprehend it a little better.
Exactly.
They're going to work side by side without competition.
Yeah.
That's a fair statement. There you go.
So I'm gonna, I couldn't read from this screen because it like, oh God, it just like beams me. So I'm gonna read from this screen from my,
Okay.
I totally shifted. So I'm gonna jump into Ant Financial.
Okay.
And what do we know about Ant Financial?
Do you want me to give you that one?
So, Ant Financial, it's a financial platform called Dual Chain, has facilitated 1.5 billion in a quick loans and other transactions for cash concentrated suppliers like Sichuan's Guanyong Computer and others. I did pretty good on that one.
Hey, you did good, man.
I didn't kill it, no. Ant
you
uses its own priority blockchain to verify the receivable and make payments. So then when we talk about blockchain, it's Ant blockchain technology, which is?
We'll pull it up.
China's most valued internet company, Ant Financial, just completed a fresh funding round. It raised $4.5 billion from new and existing investors, making it the world's largest private fundraising for any internet company. That gives it a valuation of roughly $60 billion. What is Ant Financial? Ant Financial is a financial technology company. It draws its name, Ant, from its focus on serving small businesses. It provides the technology so customers on China's largest e-commerce site like Taobao can make purchases. It's a bit like PayPal, but offers a lot more features. It runs an online money market fund, an internet bank, as well as wealth management products. Today, Ant Financial has more than 450 million annual active users. Ties to Alibaba. Ant Financial has grown out of the online payment business of Alibaba Group known as Alipay. Alipay is widely used to make transactions. Everything from online shopping to taxi rides and to buying grocery. It was spun off from its parent before its record $25 billion IPO in New York in 2014. It operates some products linked with Alibaba's e-commerce and online marketplace businesses. Ant Financial has also teamed up with Alibaba on a number of investments, such as a Chinese food delivery app. Big money is getting behind Ant Financial, and this deal sets the stage for China's biggest ever financial technology IPO.
Hi, I'm Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO here at Ripple. It's an honor and really a privilege for us to be one of the founding members of the International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications. This really is a pivotal time for the distributed ledger technology industry. It's critical that as an industry, we come together and engage with regulators and with governments globally. The work we're seeing with the European Commission is pivotal and can be leading in this effort. We're thrilled to be involved and look forward to being a leading participant.
Ant Financial Ripple ties arise through Standard Charter. So when you have the Ant Financial, you're back to Ripple, which is XRP.
Perfect. And then you have the Hyperledger Fabric, which is XLM, right?
Absolutely.
And over here, they kind of give you a brief breakdown of what Quorum is. So Enterprise Ethereum, which is Quorum. So when you hear Quorum, Ethereum, Quorum.
Ethereum is the world's first fully programmable blockchain, unrivaled in versatility
expressive power, and ecosystem maturity, with a community of developers 40 times larger than any other. Consensus is a global formation of technologists and entrepreneurs building the infrastructure and applications that will enable a decentralized future, anchored on Ethereum. Consensus Labs, our venture production studio, incubates over 50 projects on the Ethereum blockchain. We provide resources, tools, and talent to Consensus mesh companies, or spokes as we call them, that are building everything from infrastructure protocols, developer tools, core components, to protocol-based open platform network applications. These activate the technologies that will impact every industry and shape the future. Consensus Academy helps develop the global blockchain ecosystem by bridging the Ethereum knowledge gap and revolutionizing education through blockchain technology. We teach executives to better understand and apply blockchain solutions, and we train programmers to become expert Ethereum developers. Consensus Solutions, our venture architecture practice and consulting arm, works with enterprises, governments, nonprofits, central banks, and startups across the globe to build, test, and deploy public and private blockchain solutions. We offer education, advisory, and development services, as well as opportunities for joint ventures and co-creation. We are also a founding member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, the world's largest blockchain consortium with over 600 member organizations. Consensus Capital is a constellation of financial service offerings around digital assets and blockchain-based companies. Token Foundry offers token launch services and a safe trading platform. And Consensus Ventures helps decentralized businesses scale using its capital, network, and resources. Consensus Catalyst, our brand and marketing suite, works with both Consensus spokes and external businesses to build blockchain brands, navigate marketing strategy, and act as a catalyst for explosive growth. We utilize our brand power and unrivaled expertise to drive the awareness and adoption of Ethereum. Lastly, Ethereal is our global event series that brings together builders, philosophers, policymakers, artists, and humanitarians for knowledge sharing, immersive experiences, and programming focused on how we can build our decentralized future together. The Ethereum blockchain will fundamentally change every industry, and Consensus is at the forefront of this revolution. Welcome to the decentralized future.
Got it? Good. So you can.
You're going to find these. You're going to find these really consistent and really connecting back to the same. So remember, Ant, you're going to have back to Ripple. Hyperledger, you're going to go back to XLM. And Ethereum's obvious, they even tell you right here, the connection in parentheses is connected to Quorum. So as we keep going through, we're not going to keep bouncing back and forth from all the links above. Once we kind of go through it, it's just kind of, we expect you to know. You know what I mean? It's kind of like college here.
Correct. So, and we covered it. Anthem. Let's get through it.
Moving on. All right, and here we have Anthem, Indianapolis, Indiana. At the end of 2019, the health insurance company started rolling out a blockchain-powered feature that allows patients to securely access and share their medical data. In the next 2 to 3 years, all 40 million members will gain access to it. The blockchain connection goes back to the Hyperledger fabric, which we've already shown, again, is stellar.
Correct. So, based on that, then we go to Aon, which is in London, England. Besides brokering a 255 million policy protecting Coinbase against losses from hacking, Aon is building a blockchain platform to speed up insurance operations, creating a new reassurance contract where issuers buy their own insurance to hedge their risk. It's clunky, with insurers using different systems to send and receive quotes. Aon is building a shared platform where big reassurances can work off the same system. So far, Everest Re and Renaissance Re have signed to test and help design the project. So blockchain R3 Corda, which we all know as XRP.
And we'll just show for the new people. R3 reveals Corda payments app integrates with XRP. And then we'll get right to the next one. The Baidu from Beijing, China. The search giant Baidu has been bullish on blockchain for years. One of its affiliates, Disscussed Financial. I apologize for destroying that one.
One more time.
I forget the pronunciation there. So we'll leave it at that. Built a canine version of CryptoKitties in early 2018, which allows millions of Chinese to adopt and trade cute digital puppies, each distinct, that live on the blockchain. Oh man. And I'm going to hear this below. Feel free to beat me up for this one, because normally you get it, but sometimes when you're in a live stream or a recording, pre-recorded live, you blank out and you say something absolutely ridiculous, and then later.
I have already. I have like 3 times.
Okay, another Duke Showman. We'll call it that. Service offers student loans, but funds are dispersed only after the technology is used to verify grades. At Baidu itself, there are also numerous projects, including Superchain, which also uses artificial intelligence, the AI, to analyze copyright infringement allegations and to reduce the time to a judgment from 3 months to 1 week. And the blockchain connection goes back to Hyperledger Fabric, which again is the Stellar and XLM.
Then we jump right into Bitfury. So Bitfury, the mining cryptocurrency, not minerals. Equipment makers has also customized the Bitcoin blockchain so that clients can build their own apps. Graduates of Dubai's Synergy University, for example, can use a Bitfury's Exenom blockchain to verify their credentials for potential employers. And then their blockchain is Bitcoin and Exenom.
As we explore the technology behind blockchain, it is important to understand what role Bitcoin plays. Bitcoin is a digital currency launched in 2009 with the intention of simplifying online transactions by bypassing government control of currency. It does this by storing and transacting the currency over a peer-to-peer network, a blockchain, rather than using a central monetary repository. It's important to make the distinction that Bitcoin is not a blockchain itself. Bitcoin is transacted over an open, public, anonymous blockchain network. In many ways, you can think of blockchain as the operating system and Bitcoin as one of the many applications that run on that system. The blockchain that underlies Bitcoin has some fundamental similarities, but also key differences to a blockchain built for business, such as the Linux Foundation's Hyperledger Fabric. Both are cost-effective as they increase speed of transactions and reduce overhead costs. Both are highly efficient as the transaction is recorded once and is then visible to all parties through the distributed network. Both are tamper-evident. A transaction cannot be changed. It can only be reversed with another transaction, in which case both transactions are visible. However, a Bitcoin blockchain is limited in a few ways. It is primarily designed to transact cryptocurrency and is also open and public, meaning anyone can join and view every transaction that's ever happened on the network. It is anonymous, meaning it is nearly impossible to know the identity of who's involved in a transaction. Because of this, it requires heavyweight cryptography to deter fraudulent activity, which requires significant computing power. These characteristics lead to many issues around efficiency, confidentiality, security, and trust when conducting business, especially around regulated industries. On the other hand, a blockchain built for business enables you to exchange anything of value, whether tangible, like a car or house, intangible, like a patent or copyright, or digital, like videos or photos. It is private, so the invited members know exactly who they are doing business with. It is permissioned, so participants are only given access to data relevant to them. And it runs on smart contracts, business logic embedded into the network, reducing disputes and increasing trust. A blockchain for business also utilizes selective endorsement, which allows participants to control exactly who verifies transactions. All of these qualities make a blockchain for business more efficient, more secure, and more effective across your business networks. For more information on building a blockchain for business, visit ibm.com/blockchain. Ready to start building a blockchain for business? Visit developer.ibm.com/blockchain.
Today, everybody's talking about blockchain. It is the fastest growing technology since 2012 that brings a new era of databases and asset transfers. Blockchain upgrades countless aspects of everyday life by making them simpler, faster, and most importantly, more secure. But how to make use of blockchain in your own project? Meet Exonum, an extensible framework for private blockchain-based solutions. It provides all the necessary blockchain functionality to build decentralized, secured, and reliable applications. Exonum uses our own Byzantine fault-tolerant consensus algorithm, let's just say the BFT algorithm. It runs up to 5,000 transactions per second and achieves the half-a-second clearance time for real-world applications. Through anchoring data to Bitcoin blockchain, Exonum enhances security rate to the level of a public blockchain. The Lite client verifies all blockchain responses, no need to rely on maintainers. And to achieve the highest level of protection, performance, and concurrency, we utilize Rust programming language in its core. Let's see how it works in real life. In 2017, Bitfury, National Agency of Public Registry of Georgia, brought the citizen government relationships to a new level by implementing blockchain land titling. A hash is assigned to an immovable property title and added to the Exonum blockchain. Once recorded, a transaction is impossible to delete, change, or manipulate. Exonum guarantees its security. No matter what is your engagement, a supply chain solution or a legal notarization, procurement automatization, or P2P lending platform, Exonum transforms your product into a fully functioning blockchain solution. Exonum, your next step to blockchain.